Stephen Moody here with Conquer Freedom. Today I want to share with you 3 words. It's my time. It's my time. Those 3 simple words, I believe, can help change all of our lives. You see, 6 months ago, I was sitting in my office at home, completely exhausted from work, tired from the inside out, and just depressed and kind of self-loathing. And right when I was kind of deep in thought, my oldest son called me. He's in college and going after his dream, his vision. And what he shared with me completely devastated me that day, already in a state of depression. And he told me that he wanted to give up on his dream of becoming a doctor because going to school was so much money and it would cost so much to do. And we talked for a while, but after I hung up, I sat in my chair in the dark in my office, and I just let my mind go to the universe to help me try and find an answer to my dreams, to his dreams, to my family's dreams. And I sat there for a while, letting go of the past, the present, and the future, and just let my mind let go of everything. I'd pretty much given up. I was seemed like I was walking through the door of insanity because I had tried so hard, tried everything I possibly could, and not getting the outcome that I wanted. And sitting there about an hour, finally something hit me, and it was just so overwhelming, so powerful. And it was to share your story, to share my story. And at first I thought, what is that going to do to help me with my vision, to help me with my family's vision? Well, soon after that, I kind of was just overwhelmed by it. I was just kind of dumbfounded, to tell you the truth. And then I turned my computer on and was going to search for a way to share my story. And I know there's YouTube and things like that. And when I turned my computer on, it was on Facebook, and so I got lost on Facebook for a little while. And then I saw this very interesting ad, which I hardly ever look at the ads. And I clicked on it, and it introduced me to Rhonda Swan. And she was down in southern Utah by Delicate Arch, and that's where I grew up. So I was just like, let's see what this lady has to say. And powerful. That's the best word I can use to describe my situation in Rhonda Swan, was powerful. You see, she had a vision for her family, and not that it wasn't similar to mine, but it really resonated with me because she had a vision that was strong like mine for family, for her family. And so I watched the video with Rhonda, and she turned me on to a system that would actually solve more than just one problem I had. It would solve all of my problems. And so I spent all night with this, and it came down to making a decision to change my life, to change the way I think, to change the way I live. And so for the next, almost all night until early the next morning, I just started researching things from the power of this. I started looking into more of the self-development books that I had been introduced to in the past and just kind of put to the wayside because I didn't have the time or didn't really want to. But it came down to making a decision for my family, for my son, for both of my sons, to not have to go through what I have gone through for the last 28 years searching for my dream. And I've worked hard. I've worked 14, 15-hour days, 7 days a week, and I still haven't accomplished it. But what this system helped me do was solve that problem, because it opened the doors to the possibilities that I never imagined possible. And it also was a system that was full of education, which I love. I love knowledge. I love learning new things. But it also was a system that would help me and my family to achieve our dreams. And so what I want to share with you today is this opportunity would have passed me by 6-7 months ago if I had just stuck to my old self and just passed on by the opportunity. Because you see, I've had a lot of opportunities come my way, but for 18 of those 28 years I was a severe alcoholic, and so I lost out on a lot of opportunities to get my dream. I had quite a few that came my way, but because of my problem I just passed them by, or I didn't follow through because I'd rather go out and party and have a good time. And the last 10 of those years I became a severe alcoholic. I mean, I was drinking every day, 24 hours a day possibly, and I really hit a dead end. I'd gone through a lot of struggles with it. In fact, I'd almost died several times. The first time came when I found out that my mother had cancer, and I got put in the hospital and they revived me, but I continued to keep drinking and just went downhill from there. And I didn't drink because my mom got cancer. I drank because I loved it. I loved that it would pull me out of my introvert life, and I could go out in front of people and just not feel anything really. And I was that crazy guy that, that's at the party. And then another time was I was riding my bike home after a party, and I got hit by a car and lost my front teeth. You see, I hit the curb and it knocked my teeth out. And the doctor told me if I had been just a little bit more angled, that it would have sent the bone through my head and I would have died. But I kept going. I kept drinking. And through crazy times, I had finally reached a point where several years later that I was just going to give up. I was ready to just drink my life away and end it quick. And then, probably the best decision that I have ever made, but at the time didn't realize, because I didn't want to do what I did. My friend really wanted me to go out and celebrate with him, and I didn't want to go out. I was tired of going to the bars. But I went out with him, and when I walked through the door, I laid my eyes on the most beautiful woman. Her aura, her energy was larger than life. And I started to say to myself, if I could, and right at that moment, she started floating across the floor to me. Literally floating like an angel. And if she ever tells you this story, she was outside of her body watching herself float across the floor. Well, after that night, we talked, and we ended up getting together a few days later, and ever since then I've been together, and it's almost 12 years coming up in a week or two that this happened. And you see, she had 2 beautiful boys. She raised them as a single mother, and she did an awesome job, because they are 2 of the most beautiful, smart, most talented boys I've ever met. And that changed my life, because my soul felt complete. I had a purpose, a regained purpose in life. And so to get this phone call from my son and be in the position I was, and for the last 10 years I've been sober, coming up in September, and it's a struggle to come back in the beginning to make up for lost time, I spent a lot of money drinking, and so I was starting over, And I was in my 30s, and so it was kind of hard to do, but I've done it. And so what I want to leave you with today is there's decisions in our lives that have to be made, and they're hard, but really they are the easiest decisions that we will make in our lives once we've made them. And so I encourage you to follow the link below, to follow the blueprint that Rhonda and Brian, her husband, introduced me to become a freedompreneur. And see, that's really my main goal in life, is to become free of all the things that hold me back in life from my dreams. I grew up with, most of my life growing up, I was an introvert and had a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, a lot of procrastination because of those. And so I didn't make decisions that really would have helped change my life. So please follow the link below. And I gotta tell you, I love you guys. Conquer thyself and be set free.